Welcome back to BreslovCampus. Insights from Rebbe Nachman's teachings, based on Rebbe Nachman's teachings on the Parsha of the week, Parshat Vayeira. Rebbe Nachman explains in lesson 35 that the root of all creation, the root of everything you see, is chochmah, knowledge. Like the verse says, Kulam bechochmah asita. Everything with wisdom, with knowledge, have you, Hashem, made, shaped, created. And he says, Rebbe Nachman, that the goal of this whole creation is to reconnect to that initial chochmah, to do a type of tshuva, a returning, to reconnect. Return, tshuva, he says, Rebbe Nachman, is to restore the item to its proper place. And since everything in this world was created with chochmah, our goal is through all of our interaction in this creation to come back to Hashem using the vehicle of chochmah. Since Hashem used chochmah, knowledge, to create the world, that is the beginning point that we are looking to connect to. What does that mean on a practical level? Every Jew, every human being is entrusted with a brain. And in this brain, you have the freedom to develop thinking, thought patterns, and your opinion, and everything is shaped from your understanding of what has come your way throughout your whole life. All the education you received, all the information and input you let into your head, you develop your own personal understanding of everything. But the goal really is through everything you see in this world to bring it back to Hashem, to return it back to Hashem, which is the initial chochmah. The chochmah, the wisdom of the Torah, learning Torah, is meant to awaken a person that through and whatever situation he goes through in life, then to try to understand how this reconnects to God. How does this bring me back to Hashem? This is restoring a person to the chochmah, the knowledge of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the knowledge of Hashem's existence. That is the goal. So now, chochmah is also related to life. Chochmah, believe it or not, is the source of everything in creation, but the source of the continual living existence of everything. Like the verse says in Proverbs, in Mishlei, HaChochmah techayeh et be'aleha. That knowledge brings life to those who possess it. So the question is, you have many people who don't have chochmah, who don't have this knowledge, which we're explaining refers to specifically the knowledge of Hashem. Many people don't have this godly knowledge, and yet they seem to be alive. But like the Gemara says, the wicked people, or even people who are not wicked, but they're just not in tune to the truth, they're actually walking dead people. They're not really alive. Because to be truly alive, chai, is if you're connected to the chochmah. That is the goal of this creation. Now, chochmah, this godly knowledge, is so powerful that when a person, a limited, constricted human being, succeeds to connecting to this chochmah, and this chochmah is the source of life, it is such a power and energy that a person can accomplish things which go above the dictates of nature in this world. That, by the way, is the power of the Tzaddikim. Tzaddikim, they worked so hard on purifying themselves, their physical corporeality, that they managed successfully to connect to this chochmah. And because of that, Tzaddikim have major powers of doing miracles, of transforming nature. That's the power of the prayers of Tzaddikim, like we see in these parshas, in these coming up weeks, of the prayers of Avraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov, and the barren wives, Sarah being barren, right? And then we're going to see Rivka being barren, and Rachel being barren, and a little bit like Leah, and that the Midrash explains, Rashi brings it down, why did Hashem make them barren? Because Hashem wants the prayers of the Tzaddikim. Why does Hashem want the prayers of the Tzaddikim? Because being Tzaddikim, they earn that their prayers can be answered, and their prayers can actually make miracles. Like Hashem told Avram in last week's parsha, Rashi brings it down, that Avram, stop looking at the world based on the mazalot. Mazalot means your fixed destiny. Avram will not have kids, but Avraham will have kids. Sarai will not have kids, but Sarah will change the name. It's a different destiny now. But being able to have Hashem change a person's name, this is the result of the prayers of Avraham and Sarah. Hashem listened to their prayers. They were davening a lot, because prayers of tzaddikim are so precious. The Midrash goes into a lot how much benefit Hashem derives from the prayers of the tzaddikim, because the prayers are coming from such a sincere, broken heart and honesty in really wanting Hashem to help and wanting the will of Hashem. For that reason they want Hashem to help. I'm looking for your will, Hashem. I want things to be done according to what you want. That's why I'm davening to you and asking. This is the power of the tzaddikim. This is what Hashem loves about the prayers of the tzaddikim. So tzaddikim, their prayers are very powerful, are very beneficial, which is why it's a big thing to have tzaddikim davening for us, because their prayers have better chances of getting answered. There's more mileage in their davening than mine. This is the thing that Rebbe Nachman says, to attach your prayers to the tzaddikim, because that gives mileage, the merit, the light, the holiness of the tzaddikim brushes off on your own prayers, your own devotions, and gives you more mileage on your ability. And this all is because the tzaddikim succeed in connecting to this chayim, this life, this source of life, which is the source of the creation called chochmah. So now in this week's parsha, we see amazing wording when the angels came to inform Avram that he's going to have a son the next year. And we see that Sarah was eavesdropping behind, and she started to crack up and laugh. She couldn't believe, me, old lady, my breasts are dried up. There's no more milk flowing to be able to nurse a child. She looked at her womb, her stomach. She said, can these bowels, can these empty, hollow organs inside of me still bear children? Can these breasts still nurse a child? And then the angel told Avram, why is she laughing? Right? Then he said, I'm telling you the truth. The angel said on behalf of Hashem, Ka'et chaya ulesara ben. Rashi says that he made an indication, like a mark on the wall. Ka'et chaya. At this moment, when you will be alive, chaya, there will be life. Ulsara ben. Next year you will be alive, both of you. And Sarah will have, Sarah will have a son. Look at the words here very carefully. Ka'et chaya. At this moment, chaya. Because of your connection to the chayim, the life source, which is chochmah, so this is going to change your whole destiny to do such supernatural miracles. Sarah ben, and Sarah will have a son. It's such a big deal of Sarah having a son, because the Midrash says that Sarah came to realize that her not having kids wasn't dependent, she has to take this type of medication, go to this type of doctor. The Midrash says this, that Sarah had this confusion. People were telling her, maybe go see this type of doctor, this type of gynecologist, all types of doctors that were there back then. Maybe you have to do this type of medication, this type of therapy. Sarah said it's not dependent on any type of therapy or medicine. And she also said it's not dependent on any type of maybe superstition, like a kamiyah, to have a kamiyah, which is like a special charm. No charms. This situation is only from Hashem. Meaning only Hashem himself can help me. She realized that. And that's why Sarah and Avram went full force into davening for having a child, to do the will of Hashem. Okay? And they went full force on their prayers, and they were answered. But this is hinted to in what the angel said, Ka'et chaya, that you're tapping into the level of chaya, chayim, which is the source of chochmah. Because of that, Ulsara ben. It's known in the Kabbalah that the level of chaya is the fourth type of neshama, and it corresponds to the attribute of chochmah, of knowledge. And the person's neshama, which is the middle soul, we have 5 souls. The top fourth one is called the chaya. The middle one is called the neshama, which corresponds to bina, understanding. In the Kabbalah, when chochmah and bina unite, then they give birth to, the result is what's called knowledge. Wisdom. Knowledge is chochmah, bina is understanding. Together, the byproduct of joining knowledge with understanding is you have wisdom. Wisdom is now something concrete, what you can actually do. Because knowledge is still something which is not complete. It's just a piece of knowledge. What can you do with it? Understanding develops that knowledge, and that is the actual wisdom. Now, the practical application of this equation of 1 + 1 = 2. So it's similar to the idea of a husband and wife. A husband is like the idea of chochmah, knowledge, right? He brings the initial seed, if you want to say, and then the woman is bina. She takes it and develops the embryo to make the womb and everything. Now the baby is beginning to grow, and the result is the ben. So going back to this verse, ka'et chaya, at this moment, that time, chaya, there will be chaya, which is chochmah, and then in Sarah being the feminine aspect of bina, understanding, Sarah ben, she will have a child.